Hey guys, it's Danny. Now in the last video, I showed you guys how to make some homemade taco seasoning so that you would be prepared to make this recipe for Super Bowl Sunday. For this quick bite, I'm showing you how to make my clean and delicious taco dip. Now I've got a nice big skillet heating up over a medium-high heat, and to that I'm gonna add just a teaspoon of olive oil and then 1 pound of lean ground turkey meat. Then use a spatula, and you just want to break up the meat. You almost want it to be in crumbles, so just work it and break it down a bit. Now, just for the record here, I like to have a little bit of meat in my taco dip, but if you wanted to keep this vegetarian, you could easily skip this step altogether and then just open up and add a second can of beans to the dip. That would be absolutely delicious. This meat, as you can see, is starting to brown up. It just takes about 5-10 minutes. And you want it to get nice and brown on the outside and cooked all the way through in the middle. Now, once all the pink is gone and your meat is cooked through and browned up on the edges a bit, we're gonna add our seasoning. I've got 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning, and if you remember in the last video, showed you how to make this from scratch. Sprinkle that into the pan along with a 1/4 cup of water, and then just bring this all together until all the meat has a nice coating of the spices and it's ready to go. Then just shut off the heat and we're gonna let that cool completely. Now, in the meantime, you can see that I've got all my ingredients prepped and ready to go. It does take a little bit of chopping, so you guys might wanna brush up on those knife skills. But once it's all done, this recipe is basically just assembly only. Now, what you need to do is grab yourself a nice big glass Pyrex dish, just like this one. This one is 11 by 13. And we're gonna start by coating the bottom with a jar of your favorite salsa. Spread that around. And then on top of the salsa, we're gonna add our ground up turkey with the taco seasoning that we've let cool down completely. Then I've got 1 can of black beans that I've drained and rinsed. Now again, remember guys, if you wanted to skip the meat, you would skip the meat here and maybe add a can of pinto beans along with the black beans. Then on top of our beans is 1 whole white chopped onion. Now it has been agreed by myself and every friend and husband that have taste tested this recipe that the onions totally make the dish because it has a nice crunch, a good texture to the dish, so try not to skip that step. And then you're gonna smear 1 cup of whole organic sour cream on top of the onions and the beans. Now this is probably the trickiest part of the recipe. It's a little bit messy, but I promise if you just go slow, it does work. Now in the past, I may have opted for some fat-free Greek yogurt here, but I've really been experimenting in my diet lately with eating as many whole real foods as possible. And along with that has been the organic, pastured, whole milk dairy products. That's why I'm going with the sour cream today. But if you wanted to do the Greek yogurt, go ahead and go for it. I want you to make this recipe work for you. Once you've got it all spread over the top there, we're gonna add a layer of freshly chopped romaine lettuce. You wanna chop it as thinly as you possibly can, and then just sprinkle that right over the top. And then I've got some fresh chopped cherry tomatoes right on top of the lettuce. This is where it gets really bright and pretty. A small can of olives that I've sliced up, black olives. About 1/2 cup of diced up jalapenos. I like it hot and spicy, so I get them really hot, but you can get them mild as well if you just want that pickly tang. And then last but not least, I've got some fresh avocado. This is beautiful. I gotta tell you, my goal with this dish was not to make a lightened up version of a classic. What I wanted to do was make a really bright, fresh version of the classic. And I'm pretty sure that that's what we got right here. Then, come game time, you put out this beautiful, fresh, vibrant taco dip, serve it with some non-GMO corn chips, and you've got yourself a Super Bowl snack to remember. It's so fresh, so bright. This is everything I personally want my taco dip to be. You guys have got to give this one a try. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Danny Spies, and make sure you tune back in on Friday because I've got 1 more Super Bowl recipe for you guys that promises to be packed with some more clean and deliciousness. We're going to add a layer of fresh chopped I'm not gonna like that. back here on Friday. Make sure you don't miss it. I'm gonna be wearing the same exact outfit. My hair looks awful.